recording so that later today we can not watch the match we just saw. And we'll take while we watch these guys resolve their mulligans, Rob Richardson versus Evan Lee, I will talk to you guys about the standings. Michael Cruz is alone at 12 points right now, the only 4-0 in the tournament. He's on his way into the top 8 after he drew this round. Robert Moore and Joe Warren, both at 10 points. Bob Martin, I believe he's drawing in. His tiebreakers are phenomenal, so he will be likely in the top 8 here. He's at 9 points. Other 9-point players are Rob Richardson, who we see, Andrew Trudell, Evan Lee, Hank Weister-Wiest, and he's not here to correct me, and I always get it wrong, so I'm just going to say both. Christopher Parks, and then a couple 7-pointers, Alex Bianchi and Blaine Campbell. Those 2 players, I believe, are likely still in the running. It's a little tough to tell here looking at it without knowing exactly who all drew in. But Evan Lee is playing the blue-white-red flash deck versus Robert Richardson's blue-white control. We saw Robert on for 1 game earlier, and it was a pretty quick exit. We were just kind of using him as a fill-in. But we'll see how this game goes here, as I have not really gotten to see much from this blue-white control deck that's on the newer side to the format here. And I do have another vote here for Mr. Mendez. Brad Mendez is currently winning in the vote. So if you don't want him to win, get other votes in. If you do want him to win, get more votes in. We like voting. This is America. So as we see a Tamio get counterspelled here, and I clearly have the wrong order here. Yep, I got the players backwards, so let me make sure I get that switched around for you guys. And we have a life total change, so it's 20 to 18 in favor of Mr. Richardson here, or Mr. Richardson's at 18, I do believe. I've gone and got myself a little confused. I apologize for that. There we go. Everything should be all correct as you see it on the screen now. As we look at Mr. Lee's deck list here, I see 3 Augur of Bolas, 4 Snapcaster Mage, 4 Restoration Angel, an Aetherling, 2 Syncopate, 2 Dissipate, a Rewind, 3 Think Twice, 3 Izzet Charm, 2 Azorius Charm, 3 Turn and Burn, 3 Supreme Verdict, 3 Sphinx Revelation, and 1 Rune Shanner Spike. And life totals are all evened up here at 20. And did we see the Augur of Bolas card here? I was unfortunately fixing life totals when it happened. Please let me know. Dizzy Stan, I've got your vote here. Thank you very much. Some great campaigning being done here by Mr. Mendez as he's out to 2-vote lead on the rest of the player's choice, or the viewer's choice contest here to see who makes it into the Win a Grand event. As Mr. Richardson heads to the tank a little bit. Oh, actually it looks like Evan's the one in the tank because it's his turn. And that one of Runechanter's pike floated its way to the top quite early in this one for Mr. Lee. And we'll see how much pressure he can generate with it. But it won't be this turn. He wants to leave up some mana. No cheap and easy Sphinx Revelations for the opponent. Got to make him fight through some counter magic first. Can't really make out too much that's in Robert's hand other than the Terminus. See a land. I think we spot out Boros Reckoner here.
I know that's like a verdict or something. That's a verdict.
Maybe not. Yeah, I think it might be Supreme Verdict now. But here's the Terminus. Kevin's trying to decide if he's too concerned with it, and I don't think he is. Gets to put a Snapcaster Mage back in his deck. If he can get a shuffle effect, it'll turn it into a live draw again. And now he gets to flash back his Think Twice end a turn. And Rob has another Terminus in his hand. Card on top. Almost looked like a Resto Angel for a minute, but I don't think so anymore. Just Nephalia's Drown Yard, so he's got the kill condition and the only black card in his deck. Another Snapcaster here for Evan. I would guess he'd at least be drawing a card with Azorius Charm off of it. Nope. Trying to keep that instant and sorcery count pretty high for his Runechanter's Pike. I think I may have not been able to resist cycling a card there, but looks like Robert also has an Azorius Charm as well. Curious as to whether or not he'll use it. We will find out shortly as Snapcaster Mage gets suited up and attacks. And Robert puts the Snap on top of his deck, giving him another opportunity to use it to flash back a spell. But fortunately, since it didn't cast the spell the first time around, he's not really giving it more value than it should have had originally, just giving him a second opportunity to get the default extra spell it should have come with. We're going to see another Terminus here. Yep. Evan thinks about it, says, all right, you got it. It's not worth fighting over this one, because I've got a Restoration Angel, and that's even more damage. So, yes, it's a 19 to 14. I'm sorry. Thank you for waking me up a little bit there. Slip back into the last event where I didn't have to do that. Yeah, see, guys, never hesitate if you notice I'm missing something or that we're missing something. Wow. All right, so big attack there, hits, and 19 to 6. Supreme Verdict clears the board. I see Renounce the Guilds there for Robert. Cruz won that round. You can see the full replay, or as much of the replay as we can fit after this round is completed. I will skip over what's left of the Bob Martin Reanimator, or Bob Martin versus Michael Cruz round 3 matchup, as it was hard to watch the first time around. So thank you all for joining us. I see we're back up to our high for the day, as we've got another vote for Brad Mendez. We're running away with this player's choice entrant spot into the cube draft. The winner of that cube draft takes home $1,000 in store credit for www.gamecoreonline.com. If you guys have not checked out the website, I don't know what you're doing. Go check it out. It's pretty crazy. Gives John just another avenue to reach you guys with some sweet deals. For instance, today we're going to be giving away the box of Modern Masters that's been up for raffle on the website for a couple weeks now leading up into this event. So we thank all of you for your entries there, and best of luck to all of you. And we've got plenty of exciting prizes to be giving out today here on the stream. And life totals are now 18-6 as I keep you updated on what's going on. Looks like Evan's out of creatures for the time being, at least. He did just pick up a syncopate, so Robert's going to be hard-pressed to add any more pressure to the board. And another vote for Brad. I did not know Brad was such a popular guy. I knew I liked him. I just didn't know everybody else did, too. Glad for him. Doing very well here in the voting.
I'm in.
And Restoration Angel being attempted here by Evan. Life totals are 16-6. And it looks like Robert can't beat that. So Evan's going to take game 1. And we'll take a look at these players' sideboards here. Evan's running 1 Cavern of Souls, 2 Rocks Faith Mender, 3 Detention Sphere, 1 Assemble the Legion, 1 Negate, 3 Pillar of Flame, 2 Cyclonic Rift, and 2 Renounce the Guilds. So let's think of what he's going to bring in here. Not Renounce the Guilds. I don't think there's any way that's the choice. I would expect Assemble the Legion. I think that's just exactly the kind of kill condition he's looking for in a matchup like this. So that seems like a very strong possibility here. Negate, clearly. And maybe Cavern of Souls, too, I would have to imagine. Blue-white control is going to pack more counter spells than the rest, and he's going to bring in more, too. So it's also kind of a next-level move to react to what your opponent's going to do with his sideboard. And I think that that's pretty much how we can expect Evan to handle things. Thank you very much for the shout-out there, Mr. Blevins. Always a pleasure to have you. Anybody who doesn't know, Mr. Blevins and our head judge here today are the co-hosts of the Slam Dunklers podcast. Always a pleasure for me to listen to, something I try to make sure I do every week. Blevins, why don't you go ahead and shoot those guys a link to your Facebook and or YouTube channel while they're in chat there. And I am digging for Mr. Richardson's deck list here. Here we go. Alright, so this is the sideboard with 3 Negate, 4 Kraken Hatchling, 4 Dissipate, and 4 Rest in Peace. We saw him earlier against a Flash opponent bring in Rest in Peace, and we don't actually, the general consensus in the stream was that we did not really enjoy the choice there that Rob made to bring that in against the Flash deck. All you really do is shut down Snapcaster Mages, which for Evan, listen, they're a Flash creature. They wear the pike very, very well, and I really just don't think that it really does enough. There's still too much value. So I think Robert's board strategy will be pretty straightforward. He's just going to bring in counter spells. And really, that's what both players are likely to do. So I think we can expect that to be their strategy. So Drazik, is there another coverage team out there I'm not aware of? Oh, I gotcha. Commentating on the commentary through the Skype channel. I like it. However you guys want to get involved, we're here to help, do the best we can. You let me know how it is, Blevins. I can imagine there's some extra coarse language going on over there in that Skype conversation. All right, well, Rob Richardson is going to have the choice here to play or draw. This might be a situation, if I'm Robert, where I just think I'm going to draw here. I don't know if anybody disagrees with me. I'm not really too worried about pressure from the Flash deck. He can't sneak in a Restoration Angel underneath my counter spells, even if my counter spells dissipate. So I like the choice to draw here. I think I would never do it without testing the matchup. And maybe Robert hasn't gotten the opportunity to test this matchup enough to think that's a correct call. But we'll have to wait and see. And Robert's going to send it back for another 6, so not the start he wanted in this game, but certainly a livable situation for him if he can stop the bleeding and keep the 6-card hand. If anybody, I know we got some Judge Blaine fans in the house. I think I just overheard that he won his matchup, so he will move up to 10 points. And trying to do some math here, see if that puts him in. I think that might put him in. So looks like, yeah, Mr. Blaine, I think he might have just made the top 8 for himself, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so looks that way. Congratulations to you, Mr. Blaine. You got some fans here that'll be excited to hear that.
Awesome.
Blevins in the house, as always.
I'd like to be in the top 8.
Yeah?
I'd like to be in the 8-man draft.
Well, you're currently getting stomped in the voting by Mr. Brad Mendez,
Seriously.
who's running away with this voting situation. But one thing you have going for you is that you're in the top 8 and Mr. Mendez is not. So you're still in the running to just earn it the hard way. So.
Thank you, I think.
Well, thanks for stopping in, Mr. Blaine. All right. Unfortunately, we don't have a double microphone set up today. So I'm not able to bring in our level 2 judge to do a little bit of an Ask the Judge question. Feel free to send any of your questions my way. We're more than happy to get the judges to answer them for you. I just can't have them come in and sit down for a meet and greet here. As we see this game get underway, finally ready to go, 20-20 at the start, and all the black mana here for Mr. Richardson and none of the black spells, since there aren't any in his deck. Sphinx Revelation's a live one, though, and that's what he picked up. Looks like we'll see a Think Twice here from Evan Lee. No, he is going to sneak out a Snapcaster Mage immediately, try to get some pressure going, and Robert's just going to let it happen. Potentially worried about a bigger threat the following turn. Obviously, these guys don't have the benefit of their sideboard list, but Robert must have been concerned about the possibility of Geist of St. Traft having come in against a control matchup. I love that sideboard plan against control for the Flash decks. You just vote for the fan favorite by typing their name into chat. Your vote doesn't count unless I acknowledge it, whether it be on with my voice or with typing. But if I am currently commentating a match, I will tend to, getting the life total updated now. And I will usually, if I'm commentating a match, go ahead and just announce it here. So 20-16 as Mr. Lee's getting some damage in, and 20-14 now. Snapcaster Mage is doing work and providing the clock. And that's why he just ran it out there on turn 2 like that. Boring stuff there, H07. And the Restoration Angel is not going to get to resolve here for Evan. Syncopate took it down. And another 2 damage here for Mr. Lee. Takes Mr. Richardson down to 12. We did have 2 life from a Painland, so it'll be 18-12 here. Let's try to get a peek at what Mr. Richardson's plan will be. I don't know, did I see Renounce the Guild still in his hand? Would have thought that had come out pretty quick on the sideboard plan. Sphinx Revelation for Evan should mean Robert gets to resolve his first. Yep, there it is. So a Sphinx for 3 and a Sphinx for 4. Should make it 21-16. And the 2 damage clock is back on from Evan, knocking Robert down to 14.
I told them that they were going to do that, so like, whether I think it's a good idea or not a good idea, no, you're kind of happy. Hey, how come you don't have people on your vote for you?
And I think what Robert would really like, and I don't I mean, he's not going to get it because Evan Lee's deck does not play at sorcery speed. He'd love to see another creature hit the board here for Evan. It's not going to happen. Evan's got the guy on the board. He's got board presence, mana untapped, and I can't imagine he's going to just let that go on his turn. Going to record that 6th Brad Mendez vote. Clearly Brad is a marketing genius. He's got you guys all voting for him. But thank you for your participation. Looks like Brad is running away with it. There's plenty of time though. A whole top 8 here left to go. A lot of time for somebody to come out of nowhere. Win is the dark horse here. And we'll see Robert go for... Ooh. I did not do the last step of the last life total update, so here we go, 21-14. Yeah, Robert looking to stop the bleeding here. Just wants to sneak a small threat that Evan might not worry about enough to just counterspell. And he even picks up a Syncopate for his troubles. And Evan's going to just cycle away as Azorius Charm. Cast an Is It Charm as well. Love that Evan fit Ghost Quarter into his list. It's going to serve him very well if he comes up against the Judge Blaine Tech.
Like somewhere that I can copy paste it and do a list book for them. If it's a few cards off, like I can deal with that. Like
Nobody likes losing to Wolf Run.
at least 300 right now. We got like trying to make sure our cards are balanced and like getting a little more power level on some stuff. Like trying to decide what card. Yeah, I just don't want to retype all this. That's why I was curious. Keys and then I copy paste. And yeah, we could always just be like, use it charm, and so we can type that. And then preordain. Yeah, I can type that. But we can always check. They're all at least like.
And that Rune Shanner's Pike for Eben. Very big fan of him. Now this game he dug a whole lot deeper in his deck to find it, so he earned it a little faster, but this is going to be a blowout rest in peace if it resolves, and I have to imagine Evan's going to fight for it. Well, John, what you're voting for is the person that's involved in the tournament here today that you would like to have a spot in that win a grand worth of store credit cube draft, single elimination. There is absolutely no splitting in that event. So if we find out that splitting has occurred, we will be invalidating store credit. So this is going to be high stakes Magic today. We're really excited to get it on camera and watch it. It's going to be a really good time. I really hope you guys stick around for it. But all you got to do is type the name of the person in this tournament today that you would like to see in that event, and we will happily get them in there. I have no problems with people voting for Brad Mendez, but in the interest of keeping this thing interesting, probably shouldn't. But I have a feeling Mr. Blevin's vote's going to go towards a Buffalo guy. Oh, Blevins, you can always vote in your friendly neighborhood commentator. No, we don't let Blaine anywhere near shot. It's not allowed. He stopped by earlier to let us know he top-8'd. So Blaine might be a wasted vote too. You know, if the person that gets voted for wins this thing, we got to go to the next one on the list. Strategy. One thing is for sure, though, you guys will be electing a people's champion today. And we've got 20-8 on the life totals now. Things look like they're slipping away from Mr. Richardson. It's a solid player. I've seen him play quite a few times here, but I've got to say I've not been very impressed with the blue-white deck. All right, hey, that's better, because if we're gonna take down Mendez, Alex already has a vote. All right, so a second vote in for Alex Bianchi. And a vote for Cody B.
Cody Bujanowski. Another vote for Alex Bianchi.
Yeah, and one more vote here for Alex. So Mr. Mendez gonna have to start sweating it out a little bit. As we look and see as the terminus resolves. Resets the board here for Robert, so he'll have a little more time to try to get something going. Very curious on a card count in these players' hands, if anybody's been keeping close track of that. And Chaos, I have your vote as well. see 3 cards in Robert's hand. The second, rest in peace. It's one of the reasons why I personally would never sideboard 4 copies of that card. I don't think the second one's pretty bad in most scenarios. Robert has begun the mill plan, so we'll see if he's able to push the issue here and get some fast results, but I don't know if he's got an answer for monocolored cards. 21 to 5 is the current life totals. And Evan takes it down. So that's a 2-0 win for Evan here. It's going to put him into the top 8 for sure.